Well, let's just return now to our main story. You saw a little while earlier on that interview by Rajesh and Nupur Talwar, the parents of Aarushi, who was murdered a little more than 2 years ago. Now the CBI has filed a closure report in this particular case, but details of that closure report indicate that Rajesh Talwar is still a suspect, according to the CBI. Joining us now to discuss a few details in all of this, Rebecca John, the family lawyer for the Talwars. Also joining us, Maxwell Pereira, a former Joint Commissioner of Police in Delhi. Ma'am, Ms. John, let me just come to you first. A whole set of allegations now seem to emerge. If you'd like to take on a couple of them. Firstly, that the post-mortem process was disrupted or potentially influenced by the Talwars.
Vishnu, before I respond to that, let me make it clear that the Talwar family and the lawyers defending them, we had decided that we would not make any further comments till we see the closure report. We have not seen the closure report, but today, after you broke the story and after these allegations were aired, the family perhaps spoke to you earlier on, and I have decided to respond to these allegations in the belief that these allegations are actually part of the report. I reiterate, I have not read the report, and therefore whatever I'm saying today is on the basis of what has been aired by your channel. Now, coming to the specific question as to the allegation that Dr. Talwar had something to do with the tampering of the post-mortem report, let me reiterate that this is a very strange allegation. If that is the case of the CBI, I'm interested in knowing why the CBI never hauled up the doctor, because after all, the doctor is a public servant. He's a government doctor. Post-mortem is done in a government hospital. Now, clearly, no tampering can take place without the doctor conceding to that tampering. Now, if that is so, why has the doctor admitted that he has given a fabricated report? Is that the case of the CBI? I'm amused, because if that is the case of the CBI, the doctor, more than anybody else, should be prosecuted under Section 201 of the Indian Penal Code for destruction of evidence.
All right, Ms. John, second question to you. The golf club, apparently the weapon for the murder.
Now, this is a strange twist in the CBI case. This was never the case in the earlier days when the earlier team was investigating. This wasn't even the case of the UP police. This is a new theory which the new team brought forward. Now, the golf club was always available in the Talwar residence. The UP team did not pick it up. 1.5 years later, when the CBI asked Dr. Talwar whether he had a golf set, he said, yes, I do. They asked him to send the golf set immediately to the CBI office. He sent it within hours. He had to retrieve it from his garage. He sent it within hours. This is part of the CBI record. You can have it checked up. Now, this is hardly the conduct of a man who is trying to subvert justice or trying to fabricate evidence. The golf club was available even 1.5 years later. Now, please assess this evidence. Assess the credibility of the people involved.
Yeah.
The Talwars have subjected themselves to all kinds of scrutiny.
All right. I want to bring in Maxwell Pereira on that particular point. Narco tests, of brain mapping tests, Rajesh Talwar, Mrs. Talwar, they've gone through a lot of these. If those didn't conclusively indicate that they were guilty of this murder, then is it at all fair for the CBI to now write the word suspect in this report? Because besides anything else, you're tarnishing an image completely, totally, in public.
Well, Vishnu, one has to really take it in totality. Whether or not the CBI is right in tarnishing an image, no one has a right to tarnish anyone's image. But the circumstances of the case are such. You must remember, any investigation, when you start an investigation, everybody is a suspect. You go about ruling out the suspects. And when you rule out the suspects, you see, then you narrow down the scene. Here in this case, I mean, there is no one else whose presence in the house has so far been established.
But